Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas, this is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Welcome to the Realty Ruckus out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Sitting next to me, your producers, David Bonilla, Jabron Hernandez, and our special guest for the day, my freshly graduated second grade son going into third grade,
nice.
Daniel Hernandez, hanging out here at the studio. He wanted to come in and check out and watch his dad do the show and just figure out how he can get into putting a show together. This is something he's been kind of talking about.
That's so cool, man.
I invited him to come hang out with us. Just stand here with me. Do you want to just say hi to the camera? Just wave hi out there to everyone out there that's watching us. So today we got a chance to go to graduation and just check out the kids going through their like little graduation ceremony. But I want to talk a little bit about real estate because last night we went to a really great event. It was the casino night that Quest put together.
Quest IRA Casino Night,
IRA.
man.
And you know what? I was really impressed. That was one of the best casino nights I think I have ever been to. I really enjoyed it.
It felt like a real casino. Like the second level, they've got all these blackjack tables. Down on the first level, they had a roulette. They had the craps table, which we were sponsoring.
We sponsored the craps table.
And I love what they did. So the way that it worked was you didn't win money, but they had all these prizes up at the front. And then you had these $1,000 tickets that for every 1,000 that you had, you'd get a little ticket. Then you went up there, you put it in different ones, and they did a raffle out of those different buckets.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone had a chance to win.
I think that's a typical workaround for doing a casino night.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, that's
okay,
typically
okay.
how it
That's
works.
how you raise money.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And by the way, yesterday we raised $2,700 for
Awesome.
HAPS, which is a Houston Association of Parkinson's.
that's correct.
Right.
Yes.
The Houston Area Parkinson's Society.
Yes.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so we raised some money last night, and we did it. We did it on Quincy Long, which was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's. And man, that was just a phenomenal event. It was
so
a
much
ton
fun, man.
There was a thank you for doing it. Thank you for going out of your way to really put together something that was of real quality and for a good cause. It was for a good purpose on top of that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about what we have coming up. Now, don't forget that we're on every Tuesday and Thursday from 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. and that we love to hear from all of you live on the show. We have some comments saying that they can't listen, so hopefully you guys have fixed the listening of the show now. Yes, I see that from Alice Carrillo online. He says he cannot listen. Everything looks good. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can hear all of us. If you can't, make sure that you guys let us know. Sometimes we do have some technical difficulties, and it tends to happen.
Yeah, seems like we're good.
All right, well, good. And the show continues. Drop all your questions, comments, concerns, everything that you want to talk to us live on the air down below. We love to hear from our audience. And don't forget to share everything that you learn or anything that you like with anyone else out there in the real estate industry. We are here based out of Houston, but we do discuss really anything that has to do with real estate, and that's for lenders, investors, realtors, anything, and it applies, nationally. So today we want to talk a little bit about something that could really change the industry. So we're going to bring you guys some of that information, and then we're also going to get into something that we've all seen, and it's the fact that houses are getting really expensive. We got some incredible information. We looked some of that up, and wow, is it getting to the point where people are not going to be able to afford to buy a house here real soon?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that can't afford to buy it already.
But I mean, it almost seems like it's going to get worse and worse.
You see that too, Danny?
Yeah.
You see that out in the markets?
Danny's like, yeah, it's really
like in a housing market. Yeah.
Like $10,000.
Yeah.
Just $10,000 houses. They're pretty tough to find these days.
You know what? There was a time, and not long ago, I don't know if you guys remember this, we were selling houses in Sunnyside for $12,000 to $15,000.
I remember in Highland Heights. So if you don't know where Highland Heights is, if you go up 45 north off of Montgomery, there's an area up there called Highland Heights. It's really bad. It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
It's still pretty bad though. Like I wouldn't recommend you drive through there at 3 in the morning. They used to sell the land there, the lots, for $1. The city of Houston would sell you the land for $1.
Was like, please
like
take,
Detroit style.
Please take some of this
And the
land.
only agreement was that within 3 years of you taking possession, you built something on the land. So you have to build either a house or put a trailer park or something. But they give you the land for $1. That's like how bad things were. That doesn't exist anymore. Even in the worst parts of Houston, you're spending more than that just for land.
So we're looking right now, we're looking at putting a loan together for an investor who is getting ready to build a house.
East side.
The remodels, yeah, you're absolutely right. Those are the remodels. They're getting about $150,000.
Couldn't believe it, man. Couldn't believe that.
Those are the same houses. I mean, and this wasn't that long ago. I mean, people out there are probably thinking, well, that may have been 20 years ago. No, I'm not that old. And the truth is, that was probably like what 2008. You know, that we were selling those at that price point, and it's right now.
Not even, man. We're talking about 2014, 2015. They were still selling that cheap.
I got a call from one of our investor clients, and he goes, "Hey, I'd really like to try to get some more of those lots that you guys used to get us." And I was just like, "What are you talking about?
Which lots?
Like, what are you talking about? You know those $10,000-$15,000 lots we used to buy, dude? Not even close."
Let me know when you find them.
When you find them, you let me know. It's like looking for a unicorn. So, you know, that's the deal. The market is changing so rapidly. Everything is getting so expensive, and
everyone's saying, "Don't worry," but I don't know.
I think there's a lot to worry about. Actually.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the biggest worry that we're seeing right now, Danny, are you singing already? We're not there yet, buddy. We're not at the singing part of the show just yet. So, the biggest part that I think is worrisome about all this is that there are more and more people that want to buy a house but simply will not be able to. Like, they just won't have the ability to actually
just completely unable to
do it. I mean, when I saw this stuff yesterday, and I can't wait to share this once we get back from the break, I was really, really stunned. All right, we got to take a quick commercial break, but when we get back, we'll get right back into it. Stay tuned. You're on the Realty Ruckus.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
Hey guys, Alan here. Are you a home investor in need of house plans and permit expediting services? If so, Houston Plans and Permits is your local one-stop shop. They have over 15 years of professional design experience and have a strong team of knowledgeable permitting expediters to service all of your projects. Please contact them by calling them at 281-372-1555. Again, 281-372-1555. Or visit them at their website, plansandpermits.com. Again, that's www.plansandpermits.com.
Hey Houston real estate agents, this is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, Join, at teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, for those of you who said that you couldn't hear our show quite earlier, we went over and we told the neighbors to get off of the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They're stealing
Get
our
off our
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi.
again. And we told them that is not going to work during the Realty Ruckus. We got to have
cool.
we got to have the airwaves clear here, man. So they agreed to get off the Wi-Fi for the next 30 minutes, so we should be good now. Everyone should hear us loud and clear and see us crystal clear. And our special guest, Danny, He decided to stay on the show today.
So he was supposed to just be on for the introduction, and then I asked him, I was like, "What, are you going to stay on, or are you going to go sit down?"
So the camera feels too good.
He said he likes being in front of the camera.
It
So
feels good actually to be on the Ruckus.
He'll stick around and talk houses and real estate with us. He said that you could buy a house for $10,000 a while ago. Danny, what do you think a house costs nowadays?
I'm guessing $3,000.
About $3,000.
Oh yeah.
You could probably get something for about that.
I think they call those tiny houses.
Yeah, not even.
And those are like
Doll houses.
tiny, yeah, doll houses.
I love it. All right, let's talk a little bit about something that could really rock the real estate industry altogether as a whole. These are the things that we love to talk about on this show. And this one, I want to bring it up because if something like this were to pass here in Texas, it would actually put the majority of the brokerages out of business.
I agree with that.
Yeah?
I do think that the vast majority of the brokerages would actually go out of business.
So what is it that could devastate 90% of brokerages here in the state?
Here's the deal. It looks like there is a case, and the case is out in California.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where there is a chance that they may be looking at the law and saying, if you're a real estate agent, you're not really a 1099 self-employed agent.
Yeah, you're not an independent contractor.
You're not an independent contractor. You don't fall into the independent contractor status because you don't meet certain criteria. And with that in mind, if a law were to pass against that, making all real estate agents essentially employees of the broker, then they would at least have to earn minimum wage.
Yeah, and the reason we saw this shift was because the Superior Court of Los Angeles, they basically instituted what's known as the ABC three-factor test.
Which is, that rule comes from the IRS. The IRS is the one who put out the ABC test. And I think that's what's very interesting is that I've always questioned that. From day one, I've always said, I don't get it. I know the ABC test, and real estate doesn't fall.
It's at odds with it.
Yeah, it doesn't fall under the ABC test at all. And
you know, here's the thing. It's a really gray line.
Yeah.
It's a really gray line in real estate, especially if you want to be successful. If you really want to have a successful team, or if you really want to have a successful brokerage, it's very difficult to say, everyone's independent contractor status. No one has to show up to meetings. You guys just do what you want. That necessarily doesn't work well.
Yeah.
It's
unless you're like a very, very driven person.
That's right. That's right. But here's the deal. Most people in real estate need some guidance. Most agents in real estate need some accountability.
But I think that's you're thinking about people who actually want to do real estate full time, and I think that's the problem. Is that you've got in Houston probably out of how many?
Close to 40,000. So I think it's 38,000.
Okay, so it's almost 40,000 agents, and I guarantee you, less than 10% of those are actually closing more than 6 transactions a year.
2,000 agents in Houston close more than 10 transactions per year.
Well, okay. I believe it was at the NAREP event. I thought it was, what did you say, less than 2,000?
No, 2,000.
Close 10.
Close more than 10.
Yeah, and then the other statistic was that the top 10% on average close 4 or more. So only to be in the 10% is 4 or more.
Yeah, which is that's insane. I mean, we're talking about
and the reason why we're laughing, by the way, is because we understand that people are not doing this full time.
No, well, and that's what I'm trying to say is you're comparing two things that aren't comparable. You're comparing agents who actually care and want to do the business as a career, and comparing them to agents that are getting licensed just to do transactions as
hustle.
They come around. It's a side hustle, and that's the problem is that real estate is not a side hustle. You wouldn't go to an attorney that is like a side hustle attorney. Is that
that's just my side hustle.
I've got my full time job, and
I think you can
on the side from time to time I might do some law.
Can you imagine?
You would be terrified. You would say, I don't know about this. Even at the cheapest price, even if he's like, I charge $25 an hour as an attorney, you'd still be like,
a flat fee attorney.
I don't know. Yeah, flat fee attorney, right?
$25 for representing you.
Let me ask you this, BB. What is that 3-factor test, and why is it at odds with current real estate models?
So the 3-factor test, and we'll go through it real quick. So the first one is the worker is free from control and direction of the hiring entity in connection with the performance of the work. In other words, and you got to think about, I put this with construction because it's an easy place to think about it.
Okay.
When I hire a concrete company to come out and do a driveway, I'm subcontracting them. They're independent contractors. They're not my employees. I don't show up and tell them, get back to work. You got to go faster.
You just tell them what you need, and then they
I tell them what I need. I give them the deadline that I need it done by, and then I tell them, do it, and I trust them to do the job the way that it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
I have no direct supervision over their individual employees or the people who they have working.
Right.
So that's rule number one. And that one alone is at huge odds with real estate because almost every board of ethics, TREC, and probably the California and almost everyone across the country, I'm going to guess, says that the broker is directly responsible for the supervision of the agents.
Yeah.
If the agent does something wrong, at the end of the day, the broker takes on that responsibility.
Yep.
It's a huge responsibility. And so I never understood that. That one alone, I look at it and I go, well, really, real estate agents, they're not independent of the broker.
You're butting heads right there, right off the bat.
Yeah, and so the way that they've always gone around it is that they just say, well, real estate agent is a protected category. It's one of those categories that everyone just knows that they're independent agents, so you don't actually have to pay them. And that's how they've gotten around it for a long time. California says, no, we're not letting it slide anymore. We want to make sure that everyone is being compensated the way they're supposed to. So then comes number two, the B of the test, and it's the worker performs work that is outside the course of the hiring entity's business. So in other words, if I'm a general contractor, I don't hire another general contractor as an independent contractor to do that work. That would not be that. That would be me hiring somebody as a project manager. Right. And so a real estate agent does do real estate.
So you can't hire someone to do the same work that you already do.
Exactly. If you do that, then they're just your employee.
Totally
they're not independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one's definitely at odds.
Oh, 100%. It's at odds with what you're supposed to because they're realtors.
Yeah.
They're doing real estate activity. I'm a broker. I'm I own the transactions as the broker, actually. Yeah. So really, I'm supervising transactions that you're doing on my behalf.
That's right.
That's the way the law is written.
Yeah.
The agent is working on behalf of the broker.
Yeah. That's
right.
And so that's completely at odds. I don't know how they've gotten around that for so many years. And then letter C is the only one that they try to use to get around it. And it's the workers customarily engage in an independently established trade, occupation, or business. And I guess the way that they say this is, well, independent agents are sole practitioners. They're working for themselves. They generate their own business. They're doing it on their own. But again, you're not doing it on your own. You have, by law, anywhere in America, be licensed under a real estate broker. Therefore, you are working for the real estate broker.
And there's arguments to both sides of this, by the way. If you talk to attorney A, he'll tell you everything with this is wrong. And,
I agree.
And attorney B is going to look at it and say, well, there's an argument that says all of them are right when it comes to real estate agents. And that's why there are so many agents that leave their brokerage and for whatever reason end up getting sued for leaving. And there's always these cases going back and forth with this type of laws at play. The independent worker versus salaried versus what was really happening. I was forced to make a meeting and that wasn't considered.
Because that's actually one of so there's a longer list that the IRS has. These are the ABCs. These are the most basic ones. The IRS has a longer list. I think it's 8 or 9 items long. And one of them is, does your employer have mandatory meetings that you must attend? And if the answer to that is yes, then you are not an independent contractor. Right. And so a lot of brokerages, they have meetings that you have to attend.
Literally mandatory meetings.
Or like if you go to Keller Williams, you have to do floor time during your first year. So all of that falls under IRS guidelines for not independent contractor.
Right.
And I'm going to give you guys a number that's just going to blow your mind. So for everyone wondering, why would this have an effect on real estate? Why do you think this would shut most brokerages down? And I'm going to use Champions Real Estate Group because they're a perfect example of a brokerage that would go down in flames really, really quickly if this came down in Texas. So Champions Real Estate Group has almost 3,000 agents, right?
Wow, it's quite a bit.
You take 20% and say those 20% are going to be active, which is way higher. I'm using like very safe numbers.
You're being very nice.
I said 2,000 of their agents probably don't do enough to even make minimum wage, right?
Right.
So you have to pay them all minimum wage if you consider them employees.
If they're not worth minimum wage.
I took those 2,000 agents and put them on a minimum wage salary. The 2,000 that aren't closing transactions, and I assumed 800 of them are. You know what the salary amount is that I'm going to wind up paying in a year for those people?
At 40 hours a week?
At 40 hours a week.
What is it?
$30 million.
Yikes.
$30,160,000. How can they afford that? I guarantee you, even though Champions, like, I know makes a lot of money and I know they make a lot of net income, I guarantee you they're not making enough to pay $30 million worth of salaries. It's not reasonable.
Well, when the hammer came down on Coldwell Banker, also in California, they had half of their agents leave, 75% of their agents leave the business because they could no longer afford to stay in business.
That's what they did. They took a look at all of their agents and they said, who's performing enough for me to actually be able to afford to pay you a salary?
Yeah.
This shows you exactly what would happen to the industry.
75%
Absolutely.
75% of agents would literally be forced to drop out because their broker would be like, sorry, dude, you're not making enough for the company for me to be able to afford to even pay you minimum wage.
Yeah, because if you're not making at least minimum wage, and what you got to remember is it's minimum wage, and this is the second part I'm going to get into. It's not just I only calculated the $725.
Yeah.
But the reality is when you pay someone minimum wage,
you pay them taxes on top
you've
of it
got to
too.
pay the FICA, which
right.
is the federal employment taxes that you have to
and
pay.
if they're employed full time, you might have to, and you have a certain amount of agents underneath you, have to provide health insurance.
You may have to provide
Which
health
Champions would have
insurance,
to at
and
those numbers.
you may have to start providing actually financial beneficial plans, and that's normally when you go over 500
gets
employees,
hairy.
you have to start doing all of that. So because you're no longer considered small or medium business, you're now considered large.
Yeah.
And there's a complete different set of regulations for big business.
I know that something like this would be pretty scary for all of us, but I also think it would be very beneficial at the same time. I mean, if a law like this passed, Jabron and I know we would probably go into that room over there and wonder how the heck are we going to make it.
Wonder, all right, who's gone?
And who's going to get cut out.
The beauty of it is, though, when you're hiring agents that are productive, you don't have to worry about this.
That's true.
Because when the hammer comes
but
down,
that's what I'm saying.
You're good to go.
If the industry overall, because the majority, we focus largely on high-performing agents, but not everyone does. Actually, most people are willing to hang licenses. So that means most people would literally be having to shut down their doors.
I went and did a search. The cloud brokerage. I'm not even going to give them respect by saying their name. 60% of the people there haven't closed a transaction this year.
Yeah.
60% gone.
60% would have to be cut immediately.
Back to the cloud. Anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're on the Realty Ruckus. Stay tuned.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
Hey guys, Alan here. Are you a home investor in need of house plans and permit expediting services? If so, Houston Plans and Permits is your local one-stop shop. They have over 15 years of professional design experience and have a strong team of knowledgeable permitting expediters to service all of your projects. Please contact them by calling them at 281-372-1555. Again, 281-372-1555. Or visit them at their website, plansandpermits.com. Again, that's www.plansandpermits.com.
Hey Houston real estate agents, this is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, Join, at teamwpr.com.
And And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we got a special co-host today. Daniel Hernandez on the air.
Danny Hernandez.
Danny, and he said he wanted to sing a song later in the show.
We're not ready
for songs quite yet.
He's still getting his feet wet and understanding
he's going
what
in.
it is
He's
to be.
jamming on the happy birthday, man.
No. We're not ready for songs just yet. Then, on your own show, you can sing songs. If that's what your show is going to be about, you can do whatever you want on your show.
The Danny Hernandez show.
On
Danny
this
Hernandez, I sing songs.
On this show, we talk about real estate. So we just got talking about something that could be a real game changer for the industry.
It really could, man. And you know what? I am totally for it, and I'll tell you why.
Me too.
It's going to clean up the mess that real estate is in right now. Yep. And for anyone who doesn't believe it, real estate is in a big mess right now. It's 80% of the agents that are out there are unreliable. There's an agent I literally have been calling every day, 2 times a day for the last 5 days. Hasn't returned my calls, hasn't returned my texts, hasn't returned my emails. I'm getting ready, and I hate reaching out to their brokers, but I'm getting ready to the point where I have to reach out to the broker and say, what's going on here? We're trying to submit an offer on a property, and you don't respond.
You guys trying not to make money over there?
And so yesterday, one of our agents, Linda, she found a new company called like Home Bay.
Oh, this is great.
They're like Open Door. Yeah. And their agents, they only make $2,000 flat fee for the entire listing. Now, this is a $200,000 house, so it should really be a $6,000 commission. Mm-hmm. So they got paid 1% on that deal. Yeah, she called. They wouldn't answer. So they sent her to a thing. They sent her a text that was like, you have to go on his website and use this, and then schedule an appointment, and we'll call you. She schedules it for 9 o'clock. She's sitting there waiting. You know what time she got a call back? 9:25. 25 minutes late. When she got a call back, they were like, okay, we'll schedule it later. Then they gave her client direct information to the seller, which is illegal in the state of Texas.
That's
you
right.
cannot put the seller directly in contact with the buyer. So right there already violating all sorts of TREC rules. And that's already a huge problem.
See, and here's the thing. Linda's a really nice person.
Yeah, she is.
But you do something like that to me, and it angers me. And I'm calling TREC, and I'm filing a complaint.
You wouldn't like me when I'm
getting
angry.
ready to
you wouldn't, when I'm hangry or when I'm angry, you're not going to like me very much.
I'm going to give you something that's going to make you even more upset. So she's getting ready to submit the offer, and the lady's like, oh, okay, yeah. This is where you submit the offer to, and then tries to start negotiating the commission. And she's like, oh, because we don't pay that. And Linda's like, nah, I don't play that game. Yeah, I'm getting my 3%. And they send her back this like clause that they wanted her to sign that said, but out of your 3%, you have to pay a $250 platform fee for utilizing our platform. And she's like, oh my God, I'm paying you for this shitty service. This is terrible. And that's what I'm telling you. This kind of crap is what ruins the real estate industry. Yeah. It's what makes real estate no good.
Unreliability, that lack of value and lack of service.
It's the reason that people go FSBO, because they don't see the value prop, because they see things like that and they go, man, being a realtor doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to charge you for the platform that I'm using? How does that even make sense?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I think she put on there, I'm not paying that. And I couldn't agree with her.
Absolutely.
And you know, here's the thing. If something like this comes to the market, or let's say a law changes and now we're required to pay everyone minimum wage, I think overall it's going to make the people that are not productive get pushed out of the market, and the people that decide that they want to stay, but they're not going to care if they make minimum wage, because they're going to know that they're going to make commissions.
They're going
to
invest in it.
They're going to and by us being able to hold them accountable because now they're employees, they're going to do better overall regardless.
It's funny because I've been calling for this push, and we have been calling for this push for a long time. And we've been calling for it from NAR. We felt like NAR was the one that should be responsible for increasing their ethics. But it goes against the idea of having more membership.
You got to have more members to pay more dues. That you can raise dues on those members.
So you can have $30 increase whenever they want and make millions and millions of dollars.
The people that should be looking out for the industry are having to look out for themselves, and therefore letting the industry fall apart. And I'm glad. Now the courts are going to step in, and they're going to help clean up real estate.
I hope that this does go through. This is happening in California. If it goes
all the good agents are like, yeah, good. And all the bad agents are like, well, this sounds like it sucks.
So I have a question. I have a question for you. Because I always have a question.
Yes.
Now, I like getting your predictions.
I'm surprised
people
you don't have
are
a
tired. People are tired of my predictions. When somebody's right all the time, you get tired of hearing it. It's like, man, this guy got
this
just
guy never brings up the wrong predictions.
All right. So what is
I do have a question for you. So let's say independent contractor status gets outlawed in real estate. It comes in Texas. Texas courts rule everyone has to be an employee.
Yes.
Do you think that TREC will change the whole you work under a broker to where agents can now work independently to remain members of their associations, remain members, and
So
no
make
longer,
everybody a broker?
Basically, everybody becomes a broker and now is in charge of their own transactions. Would TREC go as far as to do that?
They're going to need to hire a whole lot more lawyers.
Yeah, I don't think.
No?
I think the risk would be too large. If you think about it, most agents that come into the business make major mistakes.
Yes, they do.
And a lot of them can really put some people in some real legal issues. So I think TREC would want to avoid all that. I think their phone line right now is already backed up.
They might make it a little bit easier. They might lax the standards a little bit, but I don't think they'll go completely gung ho. Everybody, you're a broker, you're a broker, you're a broker. I don't think they'll
you're
go.
a broker.
Yeah, just handing out broker's
Oprah style.
licenses.
All right, what events do we have? Because we're running out of time.
So coming up on June 5th, we have the Real Estate Rally, the largest happy hour in Houston for real estate professionals. We're going to have close to 400 people from the industry, free beer, free food, and we're also featuring a special VIP ticket this time around. Alan, you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I love the VIP ticket. As you know, I despise standing in line.
Yes,
That's
you do.
why we created this, because we want all of our networkers, our real serious networkers, to get right in. They get first dibs on the food, they get first dibs on the beer, and they're going to be literally rubbing elbows with all the industry leaders, the top performers, the people that are real serious about the business.
They'll be in a private lounge area, the Jet Lending IMG Mortgage Lounge, where you'll rub shoulders with Johnny Hayes, Eddie Gadd, the owners of IMG, all the big top dogs. If you want to get in there and talk to them and mastermind and really expand your business, that's the place to be.
It's a $15 ticket. So if you guys are interested, there's approximately 15 to 20 left. We're not gonna open more once they do run out. So there are only 50 for this round. On the next round, we're actually gonna have the small room in the back of the brewery,
and we'll be able to increase it a little bit.
Be able to increase
and then it'll be an entire private event in the back of the room, and they'll have their own literally their own bartenders, their own buffet service, everything. It's gonna be amazing.
Absolutely. All right. So make sure that you guys go on there and get your tickets. Is there anything else that we have coming up?
Yeah, later on in the month, we have advanced house flipping for realtors. This is also a paid event. We're going to go a little bit beyond just the basics like we did in our house flipping 101 for realtors. And guys, keep a lookout for this one. Early bird tickets are available now, and this event is going to be Tuesday, June 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, we've kind of run out of room, so we actually need to find another location. So the location will be determined. Early bird tickets available now. Go get them while you can.
Definitely get those. We're going to be talking about how you can get into some investments with zero money out of pocket, how you can start building wealth, how you can take over mortgages, how you can flip houses and make $30,000 to $40,000 every time you flip one. So imagine if you could do that along with your business that you're already doing right now. It's something that we're very passionate about. We want all of our agents to actively be investing in what we know is the best investment in real estate, not necessarily building multi-level marketing pyramids, but actually buying houses. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us on today's show. Yay! It is so exciting to be here. Thank you, Daniel, our special guest, for joining us and being on the show with us as well. Don't forget that we're on every Tuesday and Thursday from 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Keep up your ruckus, and we'll see you next time.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.